All right, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Steam with Mindy Hahn. I'm Ramon Scott. Welcome to Tony's Picks YouTube channel. More programming today from the crew. Plenty of free picks for you. Shows galore. And Mindy, we had college football last night. Wasn't exactly thrilling, but it was good to have a game. A nice baseball card as well. How'd you do? How'd you enjoy the card? Anything? Just another Monday until we get to next week. We'll have some real Monday stuff.
Right. Well, there wasn't a whole, lot that I really liked yesterday out of baseball. It's actually one of the smaller days that I had. Only made three picks there. I had the Red Sox. They lost that one in the seventh inning. Had those Astros giving up the 2 runs, so one lost that one by one. And then I had the Diamondbacks. So, I mean, I got the win with the
You did have
Diamondbacks.
the Diamondbacks.
I thought I had a good chance of getting those other two as well. So again, we gave out a lot of, really nice free picks. We had the
More better than I was
there, right? But yeah, I was pretty impressed with those two rookie pitchers. Their first starts in the majors with Hunter Brown and Ryan Nelson. Those two looked really sharp. Had a lot of nice movement, throwing with pretty decent velocity. And then having those really nice changeups. I mean, they were both throwing about 96, 98, and then changeups were going at about 79, 81. So pretty cool stuff there. And also, I thought the football game was going to, for a second there, wind up same as LSU Florida State, with you sitting there looking at maybe a 24-24 game until we have a lot of, I don't know what's going on special teams there. Those block punts. So that's just kind of how it works sometimes. I still thought it was enjoyable. I think Clemson has a long way to go to be sitting there at that number 4 to have a chance there versus those top 3. I would say probably more elite teams right now, anyway.
Yeah, I had a premium on the total under, and I think one thing you can look at with that, now I got a push out of it for the most part.
Right.
Not sure how the players did. I mean, the number definitely landed right around there, so it might have been a little bit fickle for subscribers to get on the right or wrong side. So, I don't know. Maybe I had the wrong side there. Obviously, Clemson was a side we both liked. Georgia Tech looks like the wrong call by us on the video yesterday. But
Right.
my big question for you or Clemson fans or whatever. I mean, I'm a DJ fan, but we saw Cole come in there and really look good on that last series. Took him right down the field to get that push and to make the total. Give them that decisive victory. They're already covering, but do you think DJ's? I guess he's still your quarterback unless there's really a disaster. But the other quarterback came in and looked quite good.
No, again, I would stay with DJ as well until he can prove otherwise. I know that you have someone that's kind of breathing down his neck there. But again, I probably wouldn't make that change until you get a little bit further into the season. It's only game 1. And what did they say? They have Furman here next week. So, probably both, again, will get a little bit of playing time. Maybe you can reevaluate that a little bit later, but I think they're probably moving in the right direction. To me, they just kind of looked a little bit sloppy on the offensive line, things like that. But again, if you can go ahead and, have good special teams, you can make some tackles, you'll probably be okay.
And yeah, elite defense, obviously. And yeah, mention special teams. That was a breakdown, certainly, that gave Clemson 2 short fields.
Coming up right to the middle.
We
Like
can
that.
make excuses for, we can make our own excuses, you and I, but again, that's something that Clemson had not had the luxury of getting 2 block punts in one game under Dabo in his, or I think this is maybe since his first season, or maybe not at all, but that helped them get there as well. So Georgia Tech, yeah, maybe they actually were a little bit improved off of last year, especially playing pretty tough in the first half, trailing by 11 points. But no match for Clemson.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the baseball, Mindy. The favorites were 9-3 on Monday, but you had one of those big underdogs, huh? Arizona winning at San Diego. Listen to those the three underdogs that won was Washington wins again at plus 225. San Francisco beats the Dodgers at a big price as
Yeah,
well.
185.
And
We mentioned that on the video as well.
yeah, so
Yeah.
those three dogs that did come in pretty big, and road teams did go 8-4 yesterday. So I don't know. There's some baseball notes. Again, favorites come through, but the three big underdogs uh, that were the ones that scored. So
Exactly. Yeah. The Giants maybe surprised me a little bit putting up that kind of run power, but they looked really well. So hats off to them.
yeah, and we'll see tonight. They're going to be looks like throwing a player that they signed as a free agent against Chase Anderson, but it looks like the Giants are hitting left-handers pretty well. We'll get to that game. It's the last game
Yeah.
on the baseball card. So, all right, let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see what's going on the website. See who did anything yesterday. We got Sam 4-0-1 yesterday. Dylan coming in with a 2-0. Take a look at what Sam did on the card. Comes in with winners with the Angels on the run line, a big 10-0 win. He laid the points with Clemson. He gets that same push with the under. Wins with the Astros laying the chalk, and also a winner with the Brewers taking that one 6-4. Also, we see Dylan with a 2-0 day in there as well. See what Dylan had. Dylan comes in with a couple of winners here with the we gotta fix that. We're gonna tell Tony about that. I've seen that on the back end. It says it right there: Cleveland Guardians versus Kansas City. You have to pick all season. It said Indians.
Indians,
We'll give a little bit extra work on there. We know the Guardians get the win, and Clemson wins it. He laid the. laid the points too, so that's why we're free picks for us, Mindy. We went with Georgia Tech, thinking that maybe Clemson's offense. And again, I sit here and kind of say that DJU wasn't really that sharp, but yet they were still covering with him. Now, granted, the special teams plays and whatever, but they still got the money. So that's always kind of an important detail. All right, take a look at the premium picks now. See what's going on at Tony'sPicks.com. Got the GM's got his $15 best bet in the major leagues. Tony's got a 3-pack up already for tomorrow. Nick, a best bet. There is Champions League soccer today. The group stage begins. And Nick, Paul came in with videos yesterday on his show, the 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 Pacific. Paul had plays for today's Champions League, so if you want some soccer plays, go ahead and go later on here on the get Paul's plays on the videos. You see other plays. Ben's already in with a 4-pack of plays for Tuesday. Collins with 3 plays as well. Paul, there's Paul's Champions League best bet, so plenty of action. Tiffany's got guaranteed best bets. And Mindy, what do you got for us on Tuesday?
That's what I have out there too, is I have a Major League Baseball guaranteed best bet right now. I'm planning on, after the show here, getting some more of those plays in. Looking like I'll have quite a few here today. So really like the card. Pretty excited for the day. So again, you can definitely go ahead and get those best bet plays. You could go ahead and get the 3-packs. And what we have now is we're going to where those 3-packs are also going to be guaranteed plays. So basically what that means is if you take my 3-pack and I go 1 and 2, you're going to get credit back on your account. So you can go ahead and purchase another 3-pack for me the next day, or another capper of your choosing. So it's going to be a really nice way for you to feel really confident with the cappers that you choose. And that we want to make sure that we give you quality picks out there too. We're not just going to give you, picks just to make plays. We're going to make sure that we're going to, before we get paid, we want to make sure that you guys get paid.
Yeah, I think that's a great feature that we're implementing here at Tony's Picks. Again, that's only on the one-day passes.
Mm-hmm.
One game to as many games as we load up on those passes, whatever the individual passes are, needs to show a profit, or you'll get credits back to your Tony's Picks account for use with another handicapper or the same handicapper. Again, just for the individual day picks, not the long-term packages, but nonetheless, that's important because those packages, when you buy the one day, is a little bit more pricey,
right.
Just because that's sort of the nature. We want you to get on some long-term passes with us, but certainly you might just be interested in testing it out, or maybe you just didn't have time that day and you need some solid plays, and you just grab some packages with us. So that's just some of the goings on at Tony'sPicks.com. So don't forget to use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all premium pick packages. Short-term, long-term, doesn't matter. Use the promo code TonyT. Click on the All Cappers tab and get signed up. And we won't scroll down too far, Mindy, because that's where you'll find us at this point. Again, but we need to turn. You had a better day than I did again on free picks, but I like the card today more so than yesterday. And we'll start to get into it, I guess. Let's start with this Major League Baseball card. We got a standard card, looks like 15 games, and we'll start it off here with the first one up, and it's going to be a lopsided matchup, but we'll see what happens, what you got.
So folks that are on here watching, we want to see what you guys have today. So make sure you go ahead and leave your comments here in the chat. If you guys have something that you want to talk about, games you have interest in, telling us how bad we are, that sort of thing. We like all comments. So let's go ahead and have a little bit of conversation too. It makes our day a little bit more fun just to chat with you guys out there. Also, let us know if you go ahead and if you've taken a look at the website, let us know what you think about that tier too. For the Mets, we have Walker on the mound. He's minus at 225. versus Pittsburgh here with Keller. I think this one again is going to be, a pretty, you know, lopsided match here. I just don't think that that Pittsburgh just has the firepower here to pull anything like this off. So again, I don't know if I want to give out the total here, what I think, or the side. I think I'm going to go on the total. I'm going to take the under in this one. I'm just not looking for the Pirates here to produce a whole lot of runs. And then the Mets sometimes have limited offense too, but maybe with that extra day off, it might help them a little bit. But I kind of see this being one-sided. I'm going to keep it under the total here of 8 on this one.
Well, Mindy, I don't know if I just lost track yesterday or if we actually didn't end up with a second game that we agreed on the pre-picks. I try to wait off of you. I've got picks on either side, and I kind of see what you're doing as well. But to me, I've got a pretty big, bold under right here as well. So let's put that down in our memory bank. I'll try to remember maybe any games we agree on. Roll a parlay with. You got Walker. He's a 3.65 ERA in his last 3 starts. Also, the Mets have gone under in 9 of their last 14 games. I will also mention that Keller in his 16 starts, 9, 6, and 1 to the under so far. And Walker 8 and 14 to the under in his 22 starts overall, including 0 and 3 to the under in his last 3 starts. So Mets aren't getting much run support for Walker, just 1.7 runs per start in those last 3 games. But I agree with you. I think I want to look to go under. Mets got a bullpen ERA of 3 over the last 10 games. Pirates have gone under in 6 of their last 8. So let's mark it down as a double play, if you will, from we have under 8.5. I think I have 8 over 20 on the screen there. Let's see. Taking a look at the odds board itself, I don't know if there was 8.5s out there. There's it looks like a bit of a mix. There's some 8.5s out there at some of the main U.S. books I see. So again, when people say, hey, is it 8, 8.5? When you're dealing with a marginal line like this, if you take it under 8, you're going to be getting it about even money. And if you take it under 8.5, you're probably going to be laying about $1.20 or $1.25. So it's all about your tolerance level. Or if you're like me, you might break it up a little bit and go under 8, under 8.5, and maybe even a little bit under 9 if you're placing a big bet. That gives you a lot of coverage in case it lands right about there. And you know what? Ironically, in sports betting, we think about the wins and the losses, but a lot of times it does end up right about there. And you just got to be on the right side each and every time if you can. So we'll go under, and for show purposes, I'm going to say under 8 for me. So I don't know, Mindy. I think it's self-explanatory though.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like the under 8 here as well. All right, what's up next, Ramon? All right, so we got Boston. So we have Hill on the mound versus Rasmussen. Tampa Bay here minus 165, over under sitting at 7. Of course, I was on Boston yesterday. Thought they had a good chance at it. Went out to 2-1 or 1-0, and 2-1, and then wound up kind of blowing it there towards the end. But Hill's been better since he's been back from the IR. But Boston still kind of has that shaky bullpen. They showed that again here yesterday. And then on the other side, Tampa Bay has that really nice bullpen, and I see Rasmussen probably getting them into later innings here as well. I'm gonna flip sides today. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay on the money line at minus 165.
Yeah, a little bit of chalk there, but with Rasmussen right now, pretty solid, I would say, of late. 3-0 in his last 3 starts, a 1.73 ERA. His last 4 starts, and Tampa Bay, how about this? 8-1 in his last 9 starts. He's gone under 1, 4, and 1 in his last 6 starts. Tampa Bay 9-2 in their last 11 off of a win, 17-4, their last 21 as a favorite. So you got a lot of things, a lot of positive numbers for Rasmussen, but we've talked about it each time also, Mindy. This is Hill's, I think, third start already. We've been doing
I
this
think
show
you're about right.
for, 8 days now, but Hill's coming on, and he's pitched well. They've won all three of his last three starts, and his numbers have been pretty good. 3.38 ERA over those last three starts. So the Red Sox are 11-9 in his starts and have gone over in 5 of the last 7. But for me, I think Rasmussen is more likely to dictate at home. And I do like the fact that Tampa Bay under in the last 3-game stretch there, not too big of a sample. But for me, I'm going to go under 7 in this game with Boston and Tampa Bay under 7 at minus $1.05 or even money. My pick is under. All right.
Next up, for Miami, Luzardo. Philadelphia, Nola. Philadelphia setting at minus 235, 7 over under in this one. Luzardo, he's been, decent. He's been, sub, 3 ERA here in the last month. And then with Nola, I think you just don't know what you're going to get from game to game. Just way too inconsistent, right? I mean, he's one, he'll go ahead and throw a shutout, and then you'll give up 8 runs his next game. So I really don't really have a lot of confidence in Philadelphia here, even though they probably have the better bats. So for me, I'm going to take Miami here on the run line at the plus 1.5.
Okay. Yeah, and you're talking about some of Nola's inconsistencies, right? 1-3 with a 4.85 ERA in his last 4 starts, but the Phillies have looked up, pretty good when he starts at home. So that just seems kind of interesting to me. Luzardo 0-2, 4.44 ERA in his last 4 starts. Marlins are just 3-9 in his starts, but have gone under in 9 of 12 starts with Luzardo in there. I think that might be kind of a key there. You talked about Luzardo's, somewhat impressive numbers, and that's why you think they're live here. 2.79 ERA over the last 3 games. Mentioned the good numbers, but they've lost all 3 games. But again, he has been pitching well. I think under. How about this? I'm giving you 3 straight unders. Typical. I'm back in form. Yeah, maybe I'm back in form here with that. I'm worried about these bullpens, but these starters are pretty durable right now. So hoping to give them at least through 6 innings, and I'll go under 7 with Miami and Philadelphia.
All right. So next up, we got Minnesota versus those New York Yankees with Cole. Big favorites, minus 200, 7 over under here again. Twins fighting for that AL Central spot. But you have Ryan here. This is going to be his first outing versus those Yankees. And Cole, interestingly, kind of got lit up versus those Twins, last time here. Both of these teams, I think, have a pretty nice, offense. But for me, I'm going to take Minnesota in this one with the plus money.
Okay, you got Minnesota live getting some big time chalk there. Big time underdog for Mindy. They've struggled on the road, no doubt. Lost 14 of their last 17 games on the road. Ryan has struggled, 1-3 with a 9 ERA in his last 5 road starts. Hasn't started on the road, however, in about a month.
Right.
So, you talk about Minnesota right now and getting that big price. Man, it's just been a disaster whenever they've kind of gone into New York. Cole, look, he's still going to be solid, I would think here. Boy, where I'm going to end up going on this one? Cole's gone under in 5 straight. Under in 5 straight games. I think Ryan looks like he can match with Cole here, given the Yankees' offensive woes at this point. Things haven't improved. 165 batting average over the last 10 games. Yankees doing pretty well in the bullpen, 3.46 1.16 ERA in those last 10 games as well. New York, how about this? 19 5-1 to the under in the last 25 games. Give me a 4 in a row.
All right.
Under for me. 4 in a row. 4 unders in a row.
Maybe we can card with a Ramon.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for being the first commenter. You win. Giving us the sunshiny day. Let's move. We're going to get back to the action here and stay in the American League.
Yeah, so this was quite the ordeal yesterday between Toronto and Baltimore. So Toronto with White minus 115. Baltimore here with Bradish on the mound. You know, Bradish has he's really struggled against Toronto, right? So as much as, you know, I like this little scrappy Baltimore team, you know, the Blue Jays here have just been, you know, they've won five out of 6, and you know, in the last, you know, their last 6 road games here. So I'm just going to stick with Toronto. They looked hot yesterday. You know, they might be hitting a little bit of a stride again here this week.
Demoralizing, really, after how I tried to pumped up the game a little bit, right? Talking about the doubleheader, Baltimore, you know, on a roll. I mean, I took it on the chin, kind of backing Baltimore in that first game. So maybe the Blue Jays, maybe this is just one team that has their number, and that's not a good sign, because these two teams are still right next to each other, but now Toronto has seriously extended that lead after the doubleheader sweep. You know, you mentioned the struggles certainly for Bradish, and 0-1 with a 6.91 ERA in 3 starts against Toronto this season. So that doesn't bode well either when you talk about you know, Bradish's chances. I'm kind of surprised the line came what it did. I don't know. Certainly, Mitch White has been, you know, kind of a disaster so far. 0-3, 7.04 ERA in 5 starts with Toronto. Not good, no doubt about it. Could be some runs scored here. Maybe Baltimore can get these bats going finally. They're, you know, 8-2 to the under last 10 as an underdog, and I think they are still a slight dog here. I don't think that line has moved any since I put this in. Baltimore, well, it's a pick'em now. I'm starting to see a pick'em a little bit. So I don't know, maybe throw out the stats for them as an underdog. But Toronto's won 14 of 19 in Baltimore, because you mentioned the dominance right now for Toronto. So I don't know. Mitch White's numbers are bad, and Bradish has been pretty darn good, right, over the last couple of starts. 1.31 ERA in the last 3 starts, 0.87 WHIP compared to White, who's got an ERA over 9 in his last 3 starts and a WHIP near 2. So Baltimore needs it bad. I'm going to end up taking Baltimore. I'm going to go to the well one more time with the Orioles. Hope they shake it off. I think everyone's kind of, you know, a lot of people rooting for the Orioles, but you know, I think there's a lot of Toronto fans out there too. When it comes to betting, we don't let that kind of interfere with us, but I'd like to see a close race. So Baltimore really good of late. They're 2.77 ERA at home this season, so maybe they can get one out of this series. I'll take Baltimore as my free play in this one, Mindy.
Sounds good. All right, next up, Cincinnati, we got Dunn versus Miley for the Cubs. Cubs here, again, sitting at decent favorites at minus 170. 7.5 runs here is the over-under. You know, I see this Reds team, they've been really competitive versus the Cubs here, you know, this season. They've scored about 4 runs in each of those last 3 outings there with the Cubs. And then also you have Miley, you know, he should be, you know, limited here with innings. So that means you're getting to Cubs bullpen here again. So I am going to take the underdog again here with Cincinnati in this one. Really like this place because Cincinnati does have quite the good bats here against the Cubs team.
Yeah, that Cubs bullpen has just been a disaster. I mean, they've been up and down all season. There have been moments where we said the Cubs were on fire in the bullpen at
Yeah,
some
right.
point in the season, and now they have an ERA of 8.5 all of a sudden over the last 10 games. So, four done right now. You look at some of the numbers for him, pitching very well also, 2.4 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Miley has strong numbers of late, but you talk about his, limitations coming in because of the fact that he has not pitched. Let's see, today's, oh man, 3 months basically, that he's been shelved. So, yes, I mean, a guy like Wade Miley, that, a veteran, right? We know that he doesn't already have the strongest arm. He's a soft tosser, I guess, but, one of those crafty guys. He's definitely going to be, a guy who Cubs aren't in it, but he's, earned his spot, continues to pitch in the major leagues. Chicago's won just one of their last 7 games overall, but I like Justin Dunn here in this role, and I'm going to end up going under in this one, Mindy, despite the poor bullpen for the Cubs. They had a day of rest, so maybe that can benefit them a little bit here. Reds under 3-1 their last 4 road games. I think Dunn can have a good start here and keep those good numbers rolling for him. So you've got, I've got the under. That's my pick.
All right, sounds good.
Right, let's move on. Take a look. We're still in the National League with those red hot Washington Nationals.
Yeah, I guess they're red hot, right? I mean, scoring a lot of runs, winning quite a few games here. Well, like last, I don't remember the stats. Something like last 6 or 7 games or something they won, or they've won 3 out of their last 6. It's something like that. But they're on a roll.
That's like a streak for them.
It is. So then you have St. Louis here, heavy favorites and minus 265. Espino, he can't really be relied on at all. Has that pretty bad ERA, 5.92. And the Cardinals, they've, won the last 7 of 10. And also, it's hard because, you want to find something else here with the Cardinals to be able to play them. I can't put money on that minus 265 just with how Washington's, playing. It's a little bit too rich here for my blood. But I do think the Cardinals here, they're going to come out swinging in this one. I'm going to take the over 8 in this one.
Get your pens, pencils, and scorecards ready for our first 2-team parlay on the show. I like the over as well. I think in this one, Mindy, Washington's gone over. You talk about their hitting. They've gone over in 7 of their last 12 games. Espino, 4.64 ERA in his last 4 starts. And Quintana, the Cards aren't getting what they necessarily expected, I don't think, out of Quintana. I don't think they were expecting him, to come in and, be the team's ace necessarily in their playoff push, but I think they were expecting him to be more solid than he is right now. 6.23 ERA in his last 4 starts. So I don't think he's paying dividends so far. He's a guy that you certainly would still trust in a situation. You can't, not everyone can throw a pitching out there like the Dodgers. So you got to have somebody, and Quintana's going to be a guy who's, going to be starting games in the postseason, I would think, unless this continues to go awry like this. If I'm not mistaken, his first start was very good with the Cards, maybe even looked good over the first few starts, but it has not worked out since then. He does not have a win yet with the Cardinals. So that does, questionable at this point. I think the runs will come early. The bullpens have been pretty solid of late. Both teams with about a 3 ERA or just below that. We know Washington hitting pretty well right now. You mentioned it, 285 over the last 10 games. St. Louis is not hitting as well currently. So, that's a pretty big price to lay. I agree with you. We are in agreement here at the over 8. So let's mark it down. I don't know, maybe you maybe we'll if we get any more, we'll turn it into a round robin parlay.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We
I'm
might
ready.
we might be onto something here. So we saw already, some of the comments. We saw what Brian said about the little teamwork. So anytime we're going to agree, I think we'll do something. All
Yeah,
right.
that was like our motto there in college. So I think I could go back and find a shirt that says "Teamwork makes the dream work." There on that one, I have it in storage somewhere. I know I can find it.
Oh, that's so 90s.
I know, right? Funny. Yeah, so we got Bieber on the mound here for Cleveland versus those KC Royals. So yesterday was interesting, right? I mean, I like the Royals, didn't quite trust them. I took Royals at the plus 1.5. I felt like I was giving myself maybe, the biggest chance at that on our 3 p.m. show, our Eastern. So hopefully you guys got that pick. We took a win there. So again, I think it's going to be pretty similar here in this game here, perhaps. But I think if you're going to go ahead and take the Royals, you would take it with Brady Singer on the mound. So for me, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take those Guardians. I think they should be able to pull this one off. Again, I don't really like those minus 190 odds. It's a little bit too rich for my blood, but if that's something that you like to play, go ahead and take that. Otherwise, for me, I'm going to be looking at something for like the first five or taking them on the run line, just so I can get the better odds so I don't have to lay that minus 190. So for me in this one, I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland first five is what I'll be taking. Probably at the minus a half on that.
Oh, okay. Then that way I can come in. I'm going to come in on the opposite side. I mean, I know Bubic hasn't been very good. He's got an ERA of 8 over the last 3 starts, but I'm interested in the run line here. I'll take the run line plus 1.5 with Bubic in this one. Royals are just 3-10 in his 13 starts. I can't really argue much for what he's done. I mean, he already got crushed in 3 outings against Cleveland, including 1 start. He's got like a 15 ERA, but I just want to be contrarian in this spot. Nothing special for me. That's why it's a free pick. I mean, Bieber doesn't even lose to the Royals. I think he's 4-0 in his career or his last 11 starts. 4-0 with 3.38 ERA. So nothing I can throw at you really that's going to give me any advantage here with Kansas City against Cleveland, other than what you said was the uncomfortability of the $2 favorite on the road. But Cleveland obviously doing the job. Bieber's been solid. 1 whip in the last 3 starts. They've lost all 3 of those games. They're not giving them any run support at all. Less than 1 run of support over the last 3 starts for Bieber. So I've got KC live here in this game because they're not giving him much run support, and Bubic is at home. So Cleveland, right now against left-handed pitchers, really struggling, 188 batting average. So I'm just hoping for a little bit of neutral work there. Cleveland's bullpen definitely outperforming Kansas City's bullpen, but my play is going to be on the Royals plus a 1.5. I've got Chard with me, so just one of those spots. I'm playing the human algorithm, if you will, and we're gonna be. It's me and young Chard today. We'll probably be when you see that 1% on those sites where the tickets are coming in or something. Guys like me and Chard on the Royals today, just taking that chalk. That's all. All right, move on. More in the American League with the big story here.
Well, it's one of those that the Rangers have just been pretty bad, right? I mean, there's not much that you can say about it. We've talked about them maybe a little bit, like, maybe they're going to turn around. Maybe if they, pour some money in this team. It's kind of like you kind of have your best shot when you have Perez on the mound here for Texas. Valdez, he's just been awesome. 1.55 ERA here in this one. Again, I'm going to be looking at, to a minus 1.5 or whichever one I can get the better odds at, or a first 5 minus the half. I don't know what those first 5 numbers would be. Probably pretty out of whack. Still probably minus 200 or something.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah.
going to look for Houston on the run line here is going to be my pick.
Okay. Mindy lays the run line there, minus 1.5, about minus $1.20. And talk about the 5-inning line. That's where I'm going to go with it because of the incredible streak right now of Framber Valdez. Still riding that consecutive game streak. Every game this season except the first one has been a quality start for Framber Valdez. So no reason why at minus 265. I think they'll get off to a hot start. So I will go first 5. I'll be the guy that goes first 5. Mindy, you lay the run line for the entire game. I'll lay the half a run at minus $1.75 in the first 5.
Yeah, that's better odds than I thought it was going to be. I haven't looked at that to see what that was yet.
Yeah, well, the money line 250. So
yeah,
I'll lay the half a run.
Right.
Again, I'm on a square book, $1.75. You could go to the sharper books and actually lay about 10 cents less right now. Valdez 5-0 his last 5 starts, 2.04 ERA. Astros 16-5 in his last 21 starts. So he is one of the stories of the league. He's the unheralded Cy Young Award candidate right now that might not win. It's not that this streak hasn't been super impressive. His numbers are good. He's had basically a terrific season with 2.63 ERA, 17-8 record. But I just don't think he has that name recognition that some of the other candidates do. But I definitely think he's got to be in the mix for the Cy Young Award, given that incredible streak. When you can go 6 innings every game and end up, he's probably going to win 20 games, I would think. He only has to win 3 more games. So, 14-4. He's 17-8 in his 25 starts. So he's not going to win 20. And then again, that does not help him at all in that situation. So Houston going under 7 of their last 9 games, including 6 of their last 8 as a favorite. But I'll go ahead and go first 5 minus a half with Valdez.
Sounds good. So next up, we got Milwaukee with Woodruff on the mound. Again, a little bit heavy favorites here, minus 190. Colorado, you got Cool on the mound. He's, given up at least 1 home run in his last 8 starts. And, the Reds are kind of in a must-win situation here. They've won about 9 of their last 10 on this one. I know that this one, we kind of looked at it maybe going over yesterday. But I think I'm still going to go ahead. They didn't quite make it yesterday. I see this one being, maybe looking at about 9 runs. So let's go ahead and take the under 11 in this one. Like I said, I see it coming up at about 9 is what my modeling has today.
Yeah, yesterday everyone it seemed like everybody on our staff was on the over. Maybe I ended up looking, not blaming everybody else. I mean,
no, we're just saying it's kind of where it looked like it was heading, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and look, 14 of the last 19 games between these two teams in Colorado have gone under. So, that's saying something too. But we're going to go opposite here, Mindy. I'm looking at possibly this one. I'm going to try it again. Woodruff 12-5-2 to the over in his last 19 road starts, and here we are in Colorado. Colorado, they've been going under. There's no doubt about it. They have been going under of late. So there is that to say for it. But I'm going to look to go over. You talk about Cool with a ERA near 10 in his last 4 starts, and he's 0-3 in those. 5-7 to the over in his last 7 starts. So we have our little parlay so far, but we're going to bet on this one, you and I, as I'll go over the 11 and you'll go under the 11. We have a disagreement.
It happens.
Yeah, if you don't like that, you can go check out Tony's video. He's got a pick on the game, so and it's not on the total. So check out all of Tony's videos or his show with his baseball pick show for that one. All right, head back over to the American League. We're in time order here.
Yeah, so we got Detroit. We have Rodriguez versus those Angels with Myers on the mound. Minus 145. 8 is sitting at the over/under. I know that the Angels kind of beat up on Detroit there yesterday, but he's been pretty bad in his first two starts here. I actually like Detroit a little bit better today. Getting those bats hot against those Angels. I'm going to take them at the plus odds here today.
Okay. Big dog, big dog. Big dog Detroit.
I know I hate going against those Angels, but I don't bet with my heart. I bet with my head, right?
Right. I mean, and a guy like Mayers. Look, I actually thought he pitched okay, but he's got a 7 ERA in those two starts, and the Angels lost both those games. He just kind of faded a little bit. Really, he has pitched against Detroit also in relief, where he's allowed 3 runs in 5 innings in 5 stints against.
I gotta plug in my computer real quick. One moment.
Okay, I'll keep it rolling. I'll keep talking about this game with Detroit and the Angels while Mindy gets reset. For Eduardo, he's got a 4.17 ERA this season, but a little bit better of late with a 3.6 ERA in his last 3 starts. And Mayers certainly, he's pitched 38 innings this year, but just those 2 starts so far. So I don't know how that's necessarily going to affect here, but I think Mayers can be better. I don't like necessarily the sticks in this game for either team. Angels have been terrific in the bullpen, so you don't have to worry really too much about getting to the pen after Mayers. They have a 1.32 ERA in the last 10 games, so pretty solid there. I'm going to look to go under. The Tigers have gone under. It's still going. It's almost like a season-long trend, really. We talked about how the Astros went under for the first part of the season to a massive pace. Detroit this season, 50, 75, and 10. I can figure that out. That's like, 3 out of every 5 games have gone under 60%. So, and they've also, it's even stronger than that in the last 36 games. About the same. 23, 11, and 2 to the under in the last 36 games. So I'm back on the under train for the moment, Mindy, and I'll go under in Detroit and the Angels.
Sounds good. All right, so next up we got Arizona with Kelly on the mound, San Diego with Musgrove. Musgrove's minus 170. 7 would be the total in this one. So kind of like how Ramon was just talking, some stat trends there. The Diamondbacks this year, they're like 78 and 55 on the run line. So they've been making you a lot of money this year. They're like the 5th most profitable team. And then also those Padres, if you look at them, they're 59 and 76 on the money line. So if you've been betting them on the money line, you're minus 2,400 units. I mean, so again, Padres are 5 and 8 with Musgrove. I'm going to